Well, hello and welcome to this week's Lanzarote news, and we've got loads of news coming up for you. Normally we film these news videos for you in the pergola in our garden, but today I'm aboard a cruise ship, Silver Moon, and we're transiting from Saranda in Albania to Valletta in Malta, and we're going to be at sea all day. So I'm actually filming this from our suite, and I'll run some short videos showing you a little bit around the little workstation that I've got here set up so that we can keep the news coming for you and so on. Now, in last week's news, I mentioned to you that Noche Blanca, the White Night, was coming up in Tois, and all the news this week has been about how good it was. Apparently, thousands of people attended it. The music was fantastic. Everyone enjoyed good food out, and the party went on all night. And we were a bit gutted not to have been there, but I'm pleased so many people, and hopefully you are amongst them, had a great time at Noche Blanca in Tois. Those of you who use the bus service on the island will probably be able to attest to this, but we had news this week that the number of passengers carried on the buses in 2023 increased by almost a third over the previous year. Now, this is partly exacerbated by the fact that island residents who do a certain number of journeys every month get free transport on the buses now, and that was something that was newly introduced. And it means that the bus service is pretty much running at capacity at the moment. But the good news is that more and more drivers are being trained, more and more buses are being ordered. So for those of you who like to get around the island on the buses, that service should be getting much better and the buses will be a bit less crowded. I just hope, as someone who lives in a fairly remote part of the north of the island, that they increase the frequency of services in the north to the point where we can leave the car at home and one of us doesn't have to avoid drinking and drive when we go out and driving and when we go out for a meal elsewhere on the island. Have you noticed any nasty smells in Playa Blanca? I've had comments from a few readers at very busy times and when the wind's blowing a certain way that things don't smell great down in that resort. And the issue is that the wastewater treatment plant down there, which was put in 2003, just can't cope with the massive increase in the population that's taken place in Playa Blanca, not only on the residential side, but also from the number of people staying in hotels and holiday villas and so on. The good news is the Canarian government have agreed to invest 10 million euros in revitalising and upgrading the existing wastewater treatment plant and also installing all new piping. Apparently it's 1.4 kilometres of pipework will be brand new pipework will be put in, and that will take the wastewater to the treatment plant, and from the treatment plant, once it's been processed, it is then used as irrigation water for the island's gardens and golf courses. There was a fascinating story this week about the village of El Bebedero, which is in the municipality of Tois, and it was an ancient village of the indigenous people, the Guanches of Lanzarote. And it's long been known that the Romans visited the islands from time to time, and they certainly refer to them in some of their writings as the Fortunate Islands. But a recent discovery in this small previous village in Tois provides further evidence of that, and they've discovered, among other things, glass beads, Roman coins, Roman artifacts, and a complete amphora, which I found absolutely fascinating. And I only found out this week, incidentally, why amphoras are shaped the way they are, because if you can picture them, they sort of have a pointy bottom. And I always thought that was a really awkward and strange design for something that's designed to carry liquids. And the answer is the Romans used to put a thick layer of sand in the base of their galleys, and then the amphoras could be sort of punched into the sand and they would be protected from the boat rocking or big waves coming over and stopping these amphoras falling over. And they were used, of course, to carry olive oil and wine and water and any kind of liquid that they chose to. The Cabildo has also announced a fund of around 7.5 million euros, which is available to all of the municipalities on the island in proportion to their population to improve accessibility within their municipalities. And I think this is much needed. I mean, there are some areas still where curbs are really difficult for wheelchair users to use. I don't think we have enough disabled parking spaces on the island, and hopefully the municipalities will put these funds to good use and actually improve local services for people with limited or no mobility in the future. An interesting story that Arrecife are getting very tough on businesses that are operating illegally at the moment. They have a team of inspectors going around. They've already closed down 3 workshop businesses. I think 2 were involved in carpentry and aluminium, and another was a car workshop, and also a yoga centre, which was basically masquerading as an Airbnb setup, and they had a premises that was supposed to be being used as a yoga centre, but they were actually renting out beds in that to people who want to come over and stay cheaply. They've been fined €15,000, and all 4 of those businesses have now been closed down for operating without the appropriate licence. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy these weekly news bulletins. It really helps us out as we strive to grow it larger and larger over the coming years. And don't forget, if you leave a comment below, I promise I will read it even when we're away on a cruise, and I will endeavour to answer any questions you have or respond to any feedback you've got about the channel that we're creating and building here in Lanzarote. For those of you into football, it sounds like the football season is going to be a bit of a challenge in Lanzarote, and of course that's quite close now. It starts in September. It's been long planned that UD Lanzarote, the football team based in Arrecife, were going to replace their pitch over the course of the first couple of months of this season, and that work, I believe, has already started. So their stadium's not going to be available. They have already made plans to play their home games until their own stadium is ready in Puerto del Carmen. So that was already in place and happening. But what's also happened now is US YISA, the team who were promoted last season, have announced that they're going to do some work on their stadium, which presumably they need to do because of the fact that they're in a new higher league. They'll be doing their work in October. So everything's all up in the arms. No one quite knows where anyone's going to be playing. I think it's worth mentioning that if you do follow local football on the island, it's well worth double checking where the team are playing, because it may not be where you think it's going to be before you rock up for a match. And finally, great news, and hopefully even better news in the coming days about Ray Zapata. Ray is a Lanzaroteño. He won a silver at the Olympic Games in 2020. He's a men's gymnast. And he's absolutely world class. There was some concern coming into the Paris Games that he might be struggling with a bit of an injury, but the good news is in the men's floor exercise this week he progressed through to the final stage, and the final takes place on Saturday afternoon. Everyone on the island has got their fingers crossed for Ray. It would be wonderful if he could go one step better and end up with a gold medal, but he's certainly in with a shout for a medal. He is one of the world's top gymnasts. So good luck, Ray. We hope to welcome you back to the island with yet another medal for a great performance. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed our weekly news. We produce a video like this every Saturday morning and put it onto our YouTube channel, and we'd be delighted if you tell your friends about the Lanzarote Information News. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.